to where do you think Signal Ultra need to change things up?
I think they've got to be careful when they draft two playmaking heroes that really depend on early snowball. They were constrained to that Puck and Ember for their early timings, and both ones kind of fell apart. Van and stuff. Scam and James, he just did not have a good time playing against that mid queen. Removing those kinds of factors for themselves, just going with a more standardized tempo would help out instead of two heroes that really depended on snowball and a safe lane core that needed some farm to be online. A bot just kept getting picked out on that Naga-sun, and I get the mindset behind drafting it into the void. The song theoretically was a good pick, but it just didn't do enough. Still, we do see Signal pick up the Queen of Pain.
eSports, they're going to take a long, I mean, they obviously wanted the quad to think, they're just like, what do we do now, guys? We wanted that quad to be picked up. They take the Phoenix instead. Fair enough. It's a very standard POS 5 to have. Can be run as a POS 4 as well. We've seen it being switched up multiple times. Most of the time it is just a POS 5. Very effective one at that. I generally don't like Phoenix into the Queen of Pain because the egg is not that hard to burst down because you can blink in and close that gap very, very early on stage if you need to. But then again, at the same time, if you're forcing the blink into the team fight, then it may work against the Quap anyway. It's, you know, it can work either way, but generally speaking, the Phoenix should be quite careful about how it positions that egg up against any. Now they're going to go second pick, John. They are going to go into the Void Spirit.
Yeah, that's a hero we've seen get less priority. I think it's still pretty potent. Gives you a really good time to play aggressive. You don't need too much farm. You just need EXP. So you hit that level 6 mark, you can start going around the map. It's decent control against the pop if you can land remnants. That's going to be important because the Phoenix doesn't give you that control, as you mentioned. It's very vulnerable to the pop. So Neon should look to try to find something down the line, though, that gives him a bit more AoE control. We see a few combinations for the Phoenix. This might signal that perhaps they're considered another Scam Void game. Just have the Phoenix Egg and Chronosphere in play. If they wanted to, that's another combination that worked out well. They have left the Snapfire in the pool though, and we've seen that response to the Phoenix, just to burst on the egg in the early levels. So Signal could just take that now as their support, and it can be really effective for that use case.
Right. Also, they will go into the Venomancer now. See a bit of Venomancer being brought out over this over the 6-7 days we've been casting now, and it's been with mixed results. Sometimes it dominates, sometimes it doesn't. I personally don't really see a reason for the Venom quite yet. I guess the story is some pretty nice heals, so you can reduce the regen that you get from Sunray. Really all you've got right now is Venomancer.
Yeah, pretty much. I think maybe adding on to the DOT damage on top of the Queen of Pain brings you is something to consider as well. There's some value in that. This does make it trickier to pick up something like, say, Morphling. We've seen the Venom as sort of a counter to the Morph, so that option is taken away from Neon, more than likely. It's still not a pick that either feel confident in, and it's really down to the timing. There's just such a tight tempo for Venomancer to be dominant. I mean, we're talking about maybe 20 to 25 minutes past that point. You start to see BKBs, you start to see pipes, and the impact of the Veno starts to taper off from then.
See what Signal should do with it. They really did need to switch things up after that game one. Just such a dominant victory from Neon. I think they're just going to go completely opposite to what they were doing last game. They'll ban the Weaver now. Fair enough. Neon eSports get to make their ban now before we get to see some more picks coming up. I'll have a think about it. You think they're gonna run Void Spirit mid up against the Queen of Pain though? Like it's not very preferable for Void Spirit. You just can't really farm.
Yeah, it's not the best laning matchup if they do expect the Quap mid. Both sides do have that flexibility though to run a hero in multiple roles. The offlane Void's not too strange. The pause 4 Void Spirit, it's a bit less common, but it has happened before. Like for Quap, offlane Quap is something we've seen very often, and the pause 4 Quap comes out as well. So you aren't quite locked into the Void Spirit versus Quap lane, but if it does end that way, Signal should have a better time. In that case, Jamesy should most definitely dominate. So I don't think that's what Neon wants to look for. And again, it's kind of hard to read because the draft is open. You've got flexible picks all around, so it's a lot to consider going into the bans. I do take the Shaker out. Again, an option we've seen kind of ignored in a few set of series, but it is taken out of pool. You don't want to deal with that control, and that also kind of makes it harder to find that strong initiation and team fight potential for Signal. Like right now, they don't really have the best control, so they're not going to have that option on hand.
Right. In eSports now, they're looking to make their third pick.
Dire team pick.
Won't waste too much time. They do go back into the Rubik. We saw some great plays being made there from Play Hard. There was one pretty play being made as well with the song still, but overall the song still was pretty nice. Just used the wrong time, I guess. Signal Ultra now gonna go ahead and make their third pick, but I do like the Rubik pick here because there is a lot of value. But the Sonic Wave, the Poison Nova, even just the Gale alone is pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's like all these spells are strong. A lot of value. Even the wards, I think, are going to be annoying to deal with for the Veno. Just, it's such an annoying spell. Annoying here to deal with, so having the option to take some aspects of that for yourself is great. And one thing with Neon is, well, it's not the best. Signal does pick up the Bane, so they've got better control. With that here, we've seen the Bane really start to pop in. I think it's fantastic for Signal to have that great single target control, and it's very hard to trade against that Bane. So Neon has to watch out with how far they push their supports in that trading lane. The Bane tends to come out on top because of his burst healing available on hand.
Seconds remaining.
Very, very hard to deal with this Bane in the laning phase. And with the Rubik, it can be even harder, in all honesty. Like, you might want to put the Phoenix there instead of the Rubik for that pos 4 position, because at least with the Fire Spirits, you can win the trades, because he can't really auto-attack properly, but with the Rubik, you still do have the Fade Bolt. Like, yeah, you can lower his damage, it's still quite nice, but it's just the brain sap makes it impossible. And now Neon eSports, they're going to go into a very, I say early Pugna pick, because there's nothing really here to counter with that Pugna. In fact, if anything, you're kind of, I guess the Netherward though, right?
Yeah, it's really strong. Like Queen of Pain, her Sonic Wave costs a lot of mana. It's going to be hard for her to just stand there on low HP and try to make a turnaround. Even the Venomancer likes to spam up wards, for example, so pushing out now as the Veno is a bit harder. I think there's value there. You're not seeing anything like the Troll to counteract or the Necrophos to counteract or any right-click here really for the disarm, but I think just having this Pugna in this lineup is pretty strong. It gives them push, which Neon's draft doesn't really have as well. So it's an all-around balance pick. There are ways to handle it. Like you mentioned, it's very squishy. One Sonic Wave will tear it apart, and Signal going all in on that pick the aim as well, so they've got a great way to jump into the back, deal with the egg, deal with the Pugna, and it should be pretty good. Lots of value in that AM pick here. Not much control from Neon to pin that down. That's going to be a worry because they've only got one pick left.
10 seconds remaining.
It's gonna be interesting here to try and deal with this AM. They do ban out the LC, surprisingly enough on Neon eSports' side. Like, that LC would have kind of matched what they were trying to go for, but I suppose you don't really have space left in the off lane with this Void Spirit Pugna. Perhaps one of those is taking that position. Signal Ultra, their final pickup, or final ban out now.
Dire team pick.
They do get rid of the PB.
Pick.
Now Ultra, they go into the central pickup. Fair enough. I like how they've rounded this out.
Yeah, it's really strong. They've got great team fight. They've got great initiation, great retreat potential. I think Venomancer and Centaur is actually really scary because Veno can start gap closing very fast. Get dead center to get the Poison Nova off, land the Gales easier. There's really good timings coming out from Signal. You do still have a farm heavy hero here for a bat, so he's gonna have to farm like crazy in the AM. But again, there's more targets for him to go for. The Neon does close out with the PL. So it's a bit back and forth there. I think we've seen the PL versus AM a couple of times. And again, a lot of people think that the Battle Fury is more than enough. I'd argue no. I think a PL with a Diffusal can just drain an AM out. If you let it go too long and the PL gets really big, that burn from Diffusal just ensures that the AM won't blink. So it's a weird issue of timing. I'd say Signal has to play faster. They need to try to split push hard with the AM, split the focus of Neon, and deny farm from the PL. And that is something their lineup can do. Of Neon, they need to give Scam that space and try to fight as 4. Not because their setup is not great, but they need to just give that PL space to cook up.
Okay. Gonna be a very, very interesting match. I've got to say, I don't believe we've seen a very much successful kind of PLs in the previous games we've seen. It's been very kind of back and forth with these PLs, but overall they kind of just seem lackluster in that late game stage. Even though that's where they're meant to be strongest, they just haven't felt amazing. But against the anti-mage, I can see why you'd go down the road of Phantom Lands. That's fair enough. See how it all pans out for Neon, because they'd love to get to a victory. And oh no, Jamesy!
Oh, that's a report.
Give them a drubbing they'll not soon forget.
Yeah, that's not it.
Pick it.
I'll give them a drubbing they'll not soon forget.
What? Is it, John?
Do you
This is an abomination.
Do I have the Arcana? No, not yet. I logged on to the game, right? And literally as I was logging in, it said log back out as an update. I went, alright, fine, I'll log back out and update for the 2000th time this week. And I got the Queen of Pain update came along, but John, I didn't have time. I didn't have the time to go to the car, get my wallet, come back, update my wife's home as well, John. She doesn't the Queen of Pain Arcana came
I'll
out.
give them a drubbing
I could
they'll
be like,
not
what did you
soon
spend
forget.
$200 on mine? Nothing, my lovely wife. Just some cosmetics in the game.
Just some cosmetic. Definitely not simping there, which is perfectly fine.
Going on here,
But Jamesy, man, this is gonna hurt Signal. I think you lose that mental game factor here, and Neon, they must be glad that Signal picked it up. They're like, oh, we don't have it. We have nothing to fear. They can't possibly beat us now.
No, they can't. This is Jamesy, how dare you talk? You just stay quiet, sir. You have no right. You've broken the rules. We'll have a chat with you about that later, sir. Signal. See how they make this work. Again, Scam gonna be a lot resting on his shoulders, but with the PL performance, we haven't really seen many good PLs. Not that we haven't seen good players playing PL, but PL itself is great as of recently.
You know what's cooking? Boom!
Well, I don't really know how to feel about the AMI though. It's that's never picked. So
Yeah, I mean that one's definitely a lot rarer. I think it's gonna be less rare once the Arcana comes out, the Persona comes out. But for now, it's not a very popular pick, and again, it's an issue of timing for both heroes. Abot's Battle Fury, super important. Skem's Diffusal, just as important. So it's really just down to that.
Tato gonna dish out a lot of harassment at the bat. He will be going to the Blink level 1. Really wanted to go after that boundary room snipe, but doesn't get it anyway. And it's not really to go for that level 1 blink timing, I guess, for a bat, right? Like generally speaking, you want the mana void, not the mana void, but the first ability, the mana break. Still does go for the blink instead. I guess it's not too big of a deal. Hit level 2, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think this is just to preemptively prevent any sort of heavy harassment you can see from this loop. It's a dual range lane. You've got a lot of damage early on from raging and from play hard, so yeah, just kind of play it safe. Soak EXP first. This does mean you're not trading, so there's no way a bot can find an opportunity to drain out of these heroes, and it's really down to Grims to try to just close the gap and get some right clicks off.
That did end up bringing play to the top lane as well on that route. Kind of discussed how we shouldn't really be able to win out this trade war with Grims, but you can do so with the Fetchball. It's just not quite that easy. Mid lane, of course, Jamesy up against your Punch. Your Punch currently dominating this lane. Jamesy just kind of unable to deal with your Punch thus far, it seems. Get a fair bit of harassment out, but you kind of make the argument he should have a lot more damage going out of your plant right now.
Yeah, he definitely should. Like, the resonant pulse is annoying. It doesn't mean you're not trading right clicks, but as long as you're consistent with the shadow strikes, your Paj isn't going to be blocking any of that damage. There's a lot more potential there.
He's been quite conservative with the shadow strike, though, I've got to say. He's very conservative with that. Bot lane is going quite well for Signal, though. Spem is going to struggle up against the Veno and Centaur. There's really not much you can do here if you're the PL. All they really can do is keep my region for Spem. That's it. Even then, you can't do much here on the Phoenix.
Yeah.
I think Ultra should really just dominate the lane.
They should. And there's a really early timer on that Venomancer up against them. You have to remember that every single spell, Eris, except for Nova, is dispellable by Scam. So if Scam just has the mana and you commit too hard, he just gobbles out. Have to be very conservative with that Gale usage.
That's doing pretty well on the AM thus far. Raging Potato, it doesn't have the Crepifying yet, so it can't really greet him with those CS attempts. You go for that build we've been seeing over the past few days, that Nether Ward. But he does decide to max out Nether Bar rather than going for the max Nether Ward. It's fair enough, because you're not really going to get that much usage out of the Nether Ward with an AM lane. Basically, it's just Blinks after doing much spending of the mana.
It does mean, again, as you mentioned, it's going to be free farming. I think the one thing you really just want is to get early farm as well. Because AM, I mean, that's that early laning farm, but that's still into a battle period.
See you later.
And just got flood there on the board. Spirit will deny him sort of off that tier 1 tower. It's a real great chase out from your partner. John, I gotta say, this should not be happening in the mid lane.
Yeah.
This should be a real easy lane for this Queen of Pain. James is just not. I don't think he's applying progression.
It really isn't. Like, you mentioned Shadow Strike and how conservative James's been. He's a bit too Yeah, he's definitely just been way too conservative with belt use. Needs to apply that harassment on Yapaj. It's just constantly on him.
Just look at that. Yapaj is so intense. He doesn't have blink here. For some reason. He's gonna die. Rotations are coming in here from Eris and towards the main. They're gonna get played hard. I didn't even realize he doesn't have blink.
Normally.
Yeah,
That's a greedy way to play the quad.
It's really greedy, and this is considering that it is that Void Spirit matchup. Just having 1-1-2 in this case is pretty alright, or even 2-1-1. I think just for the harassment, and well, that execution is gonna hurt Signal. You're depending on the Quap to buy your team space. You can't depend on a bot and joining these fights. He can't. He's an AM. And he could have done so on the Naga earlier last game, but you have to get that good start in the Quap, or else the tempo is just really going to be thrown off.
He's gonna run his way back into the he actually had to pop a smoke for that. So James, he did TP earlier in Dice, he pops a smoke to get back to that mid lane. It's gonna be another resource being used up, so that's the smoke you're not getting back for 10 minutes. He's trying to catch up now, he is being out-leveled by the your part's gonna hit that level 6 mark, and yeah, James, he will go for level 5. Kinda needs to. It's the matter of now your part is 6, and you can see he will just dominate this game. Real shame there for Signal Ultra, this Whitford is just gonna be reminded of losing.
Yeah,
It does not last, otherwise James he wouldn't be dead there. One of the creeps came before her. It's a bright bat still farming, right?
Yeah, the AM farming pretty darn well. Not as far ahead as you'd expect. You see, Sam is not too far off. Does have 28 under their belt, and you're still chasing Jamesy down.
Will not connect. No 8th astral steps left. Jamesy needs to blink of 1. No. He has the compulsion to be a
See you later, nerds.
Oh, he bought that. That's rage. Yeah, he's still good. They hit him as well, just to really add on to it.
I mean, I get why he wanted range creep. He just wants to hit 6.
No,
he missed out.
Next time.
Yeah, I can try to justify it.
You can't.
I can try.
Like, we don't need. It's not our job to justify bad decisions like that. That was not a good decision.
Yeah, it's a tilt. It's a bit tilt. Signal's off on the wrong foot already, and I mean they're keeping Raging Potato pinned down, at least up top.
Yeah, sure. I mean that's just the punch, bro. That's to be called out. He's just so far ahead now. He can just do this. But he's gonna die.
Normally.
And this is just the domino effect, right? Like, you've given the Void Spirit a free lane, he's level 6. He doesn't wait till level 7 or 8 time, he just starts going there. Rivers has nowhere to go, he's gonna die as well.
Yeah, and this is going to open up the map real quick for Neon. With Raging Potato, they can just melt these towers out. The Nether Blast map. And once you take that tier 1 top, you're gonna have a lot better time because the AM's not quite ready to jungle. Yeah, he's still saving up for boots, and oof, not enough on the board.
Yeah, oh, you can't back in and back. He used the blink for that. He'll try to get he's being live trained up. He'll blink away again. Your Page doesn't have Astral Step for another 10 seconds, but a bat has no TP. Play hard. Does now find it. Lifts him up. He'll blink away again. Raging wants to chase this, so the bat. Aether does not connect, he's just going to hide in the tree line. Raging still, he will find another blink away, but they saw the blink happen. So Raging drops straight into the hell, he's going to die. He's used the TP as well. He's running back to the lane. Now bot lane, man's going to be chased down. He does walk the whole of the Defiance, but it may not matter. They chasing down now, hard. No actual steps on Harley and a left. Should be a kill on Savannah, they really don't have the fills on Neon eSports. Changing aggro team down between the pain. Now Sonic Wave will secure the kill on Scam. Neon eSports, they get a bit too excited, John. Just all coming down with hardly any mana and no spells off cooldown. They just couldn't do anything.
Yeah, this is wasting time from Neon. That's a great pickoff for Signal. You look up top though. Raging should just be able to secure that top tier 1. So they're clearing out the map. Still, this limit. Okay, he gets it this time.
Nice man. I mean, that's the thing with Mana Void, right? If you could just get a kill, it's quite a useless ability on the anti. So that you find someone like Raging Potato who has no mana left. It's a nice little pick off the hit.
Yeah, gives a bit of an injection towards your AM, and Signal, they're not too far behind. It's just a 1k advantage for Neon. They do have a lot of farm on Van early on. He is top of net worth. So if you hit him with a fast pipe or maybe even a fast blink, he can start to give some space back towards Signal. Can start these fights for them, but there's still a lot more to be saved up. Your AM farm has taken a lot of an early hit, and you still have to play recovery on Jamesy, who's actually rushing a BKB in Queen of Pain.
Wow. That's something we haven't seen in I don't even know how long now. Scam in the back, and then the fire with the top working together. Scam, come and shoot down at that a little bit. Snap taking a bit there at that. Yeah, link up. He's paid for rotations. He does eventually become the form of Daisy. James will jump in, Scam waiting for his helper to be back up. Meanwhile, Pan does go down the center on Scam. He's still just trying to run. He'll start pull back onto Jamesy now. We'll turn around for the courier. Won't quite get it, however. Still is going up against it.
Oh no.
Oh no. Bat now is going to be in trouble. Scam's trying to chase him down. He does get the kill. Jamesy should be able to get the trade and does. But that's your AM going down. Scam does clear it. Now he's hard to the top. Still no blink available. Jamesy, he should be okay. Back to you. Blink into your touch. Another beans will come in from Grizz. That will mean the kill. Meanwhile, bot lane, we do see Eris going down to the Venom, but Raging Potato will also die to the Central.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth. Signal, they're starting to find some punishment here. Neon, maybe dial it down a notch, because you're starting to bleed some key kills away. The death on Scam does hurt, although him finding the AM first hurts a lot more. And that is, I guess, in the really want to slow down the aim, but you do see James slowly building back up. He's starting to get the damage. You've got the levels on support, so Grims has that grip up, and that is again superior control on the side compared to Neon. They don't quite have the same way of pinning these people down, and that's something Signal can really exploit. You have to be a bit careful about that, Jan, when you go up against these heroes.
Mid lane. Trying to go on to the Jamesy. James trying to
See you later, nerds.
You can't really blink like that into a power when you see everyone hit.
Yeah, that's
You just can't.
no. It's really costing Signal. Again, you find kills, but you die anyway. Counteracts the entire point of that. Now look at Raging. He has his Tranquils up. We've seen so many games. The Tranquils can heal everyone up. That's it. Tops.
Most of the double Tranquils, well, don't stack up the movement speed, but the regen stacks. So with 2 Tranquils, you can get 28 regen per second. And then you can really just be a healing machine. But they only usually do that if it is the pod 5 or 4 pod one, not really 4 pod one. But you can still do it if you really want. It's kind of ridiculous how much regen you get. A bat now being chased out of his on that anti-mage. Just gonna have to run away. It's been a real struggle in terms of farm, I've got to say, John. He's only got the Ring of Health. We're 13 minutes in. And most battle free times we've seen over these 5 days have been around 15 to 16 minutes. But I can't imagine it's that battle in that time.
The map is shrinking a bit too small. Only so many camps for him to safely rotate into, and yep, it's a bit time tier. In fact, and
Stampede away. He does turn around now. Actually, yes, he's just moving the skin. Should be able to trade them. No, the Will of Defiance saving Dan. The chains will continue though. Sonic Wave now coming up. Skin is not giving up though. He wants the kill. Still the Will of Defiance protecting Dan. He's blocking all the magic damage. Now trying to shoot himself out of the skin. But he will die. Now the point to know. Feed from out on the BO2 as well. They have nothing. Or maybe they do. The Taylor comes in. He gets back. They'll find another in the form of nobody yet, but Grims is dying quite soon. Jamesy also pulling low raging might just turn around here with the life drain. The last life drain again, the Queen of Pain will die. Now Grims trying to run. Everything's back in with Grims to try and take down the Pugner, and they do. Grims will go back for the Phoenix. We do have a about him being the first one to run into 4 heroes, like in fact 5 heroes like that, chasing a kill. I'm surprised he still got the kill though. That's the thing. Like, he was surrounded.
Yeah, that's not quite the best trade still for Signal, and they've thrown their AM out to secure that, and yeah, it's still hurting despite their kills. So it's still better off for Neon. You are built up on Van, and this is key. He has his blink. They've been able to play a lot more aggressive with Van, with James, because they've got solid ways to initiate. They really need to start playing a lot more aggressive. They need to apply pressure onto Neon, free up the map. So 2 parts away from the battlefield, and even then, I'm still waiting for more items on top. On the other side, for Skem, once the field's all up, he really just kicked it into overdrive. He starts playing even more aggressive. He doesn't have stats to be tanky, but he does have the damage to start melting through his tankier heroes.
Skem will have to fill out very, very soon. You're not going to have the vessel up soon on the Bullet Spirit. We don't need that vessel for this. That's the thing with Van. Like, he's the one hero that has been farming on Signal Ultra and is top that they work for. The vessel is up. Van's going to work towards the fight. It's going to be super important up against the Pugner and the Phoenix, of course. Mid lane, good Harsh, gonna start scouting out the side. It does get Van, but it's gonna be a very, very hard target to try and take out. It'll even be for now. If they may run to a bat, yeah, they will. They got him. He does blink away in time, however. Bat will now blink out, or rather be up to the top and keep climbing up. But Neon eSports, it seems like they were enforcing this bot tier 1 tower.
Yeah, they've got the Pugner, slow stages very easily done, and you have the defusal upon Scan. He's actually going for points we've seen on much more aggressive PL players, and it really lines up here. It blocks the qual damage, blocks the Venu damage well for you. So you've got added durability for that Phantom Lancer, and again, you just really want to fight early while the AM's not up and running. Play around with the fact that they're more than likely going to burn his mana tree first, and put that advantage.
Yeah, I mean that's it, right? Like, the Hood of Defiance is quite nice. A lot of people don't like seeing the Hood of Defiance in the carry PL, but in certain games it does allow you to really just tank through so much magic. Just a nice value pick there for Skem. So James is still working towards that BKB. He's almost there.
Oh.
Mid lane, however.
Haj.
It's going to be Haj getting caught out here with the beams for him. However, Daniel is still around there with the stun rate. Off now. Stampede does come up from Signal, but Raging does use the Netherward on top of the high ground.
Radiant's top tower.
That'll actually stop them though. They're targeting that Netherward instead of going after the heroes. So Neon, they will lose that big Void Spirit, but that's going to be it for now. In all fairness though, your Parsh has fallen behind net worth. Chasing kills this whole game rather than securing farm.
I'll give them a drink and not soon forget.
I heard double edge.
I can't tell if that was on purpose. I don't think you tend to do that, but hey, it's a reset, although top.
Normally.
He does again. I don't think you're meant to do that on purpose, John. No, not at 18 and a half.
No, definitely not. Still, I mean, Signal's still building up. Got the Battle Fury up and running on bot, so he can escalate the farm. You have to be a bit worried about the space you've given the EM. Could start to push that a bit more or clear out the map a lot more. Tier 2's up still means that Signal has some control over the jungle and some safe space to farm in. You can't allow the aim to build up. You will blow up your...
Aether Remnant will not latch on though. However, bot lane, they do catch up Brims. It's an easy +5 pick off there. The thing is, on the CM, he's just good pushing away. So you can't really that bottom T2 now as you don't really have a creep wave around. Because he does have the Battle Fury up and keeps trying to do this, but it looks like Skem wants to try and chase him down a little bit. We'll give up on it. No, Nick. Just gonna keep grouped up.
Scanning.
You do have to find a way to keep continuing to find a bat on the map though, because he's just going to keep just moving the map up with this AM and it just becomes infuriating. In fact, he's come straight into your path. A dangerous situation for your path right now. He just takes his bouncer and runs away. I thought they may have gone for a kill attempt there, but not quite.
Just gonna go for the safe objective plays, clear out some tier 1s to try to give themselves a little bit more map control and gold, and Signal to find that. Neon, they're not going after the defense, they're just still saving up, building up onto Skem. Looks like he's saving up for Ventustom, so just looking for that additional escape.
Yeah, Ray Taylor can score out for a 6 ultra, they don't get really back on, but now Life Drake is there, Stampede out. They seem to be just putting all their trust in the AM. Like they're just waiting for a bat to get all this farm up. Because Signal is refusing to play defensively at all. It's just all defensive plays. Whether it works out for them or not is a different story. Like you look at Skem, he's still top of their worth board. He's gonna have that mantra up very, very soon. He even has the clumsy net, just in case he does run into a bat. He can at least clumsy drain his mana before he can blink away.
Yeah, and again that's going to be key over
there. He's trying now. He should be able to blink and dunk. They're going to chase no. They're going to get back to the way.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be moderate and catch people out.
Easy kill. That's the bounty being claimed. Van gonna chop some mid, but you just saw your Zeno die, man. Maybe he just feels that confident in his tankiness, and he will be in all fairness. He just TP's away. The bot lane is being pushed in his Skem. He's gone for the T2 tower.
Yeah, you do see a bot trying to get the same done up top. Looks like he wants to force into tier 2 as well. It's not going to be as fast. Neon does have Raging, who can really chip away at towers just a bit better. So you're going to find that first.
Yeah, that's doing 8 things anyway. He's just going to slowly try and take over the game himself. Polish is seemingly trying to pick up the death play, which I do like, I've got to say. But you'd rather go for the right click field over the magic field this time around, because you already see the pipe there from that. No real point in trying to amplify that magic.
Nah. I think the biggest issue for Neon right now is their control. You mentioned it from draft, but once that's gone from play hard, people can just TP out. So maybe if they picked up an additional piece to break it up, maybe a Yults or even an Atos, I think Raging Potato would like after the pipe. Just give yourselves a way to keep someone pinned down. It's starting to be a slight issue for Neon. Signal, they are stuck up.
There you go. Be a little bit careful. He'll be able to spot him out. He might break the smoke and crimson path, but they've got the beam through the floor. So they're caught out very easily. hard. The fight with the bat needs to also Astral step his way out of there. He's being chased down though. He has another one. James comes in. There's nothing Adrian as well. It was all a bit of a bait. Good hit on to Jamesy, but he will blink away. Now with the bat, Skem brings all the power of his central. He is melting quite fast that summer raid, and eventually will end up dying. They are still chasing the quad. Play hard. Does have a blink from Jamesy. We can actually keep pushing up here. He jumps right on top of him. They know exactly where they are. Jamesy, Adrian, Luland, now still trying to blink away. Will be forced to BKB TP. Was that his 10-second charge? Yes, it was.
Yeah. It's not the best use case for Signal, but they do manage to build out with minimal losses, so they're still going to be happy about that. They forced a buyback out from Potato. Again, you're draining some resources from Neon, but I think, again, Neon, they've got some control issues. Although this does allow them to try to dip into the Roche pit.
Coming in to try and scout out, but it's way too late.
Free rush, second life for Skem. You do start to worry a bit about Abad's farm. He has caught up. He's number 1 now. As the math. Oh, good pause.
Trouble. Astral step away though. Back gonna keep chasing another Astral step, but they'll know where he is. Back. No matter what, still go. Now the live train raging, they spot up the AM. It's one of those bombs up into the sun, back in. But your hard is mana, so he's not really taking much damage now. Play hard. Just jump in to lift off. You still have to pick down the ruling, so he can just dive it now back onto Raging Potato. So diving around, eventually Signal may just decide it's time to get out of here.
Radiant's bottom tower was under attack.
Genuel and Skem just taking out that T2 mid tower while this was happening. That's a trade. But Signal Ultra don't get anything and they lose their T2 tower. Good news.
And Signal, they are still building up in a bat, but you can't time like that. It has given enough time though for Aaron to get the Ags. So you've got more damage coming out on that Nova and a bit of a lower cooldown, so you can play a bit faster. The issue is you've already got the pipe up and running on Raging Potato, and as mentioned earlier, you've already got the Defiance Scam. So you're magic resist here on Neon. I don't expect the Venomancer to have any better time. I guess the lower cooldowns really, it's allowed the Venom to join these fights a lot earlier, but Signal, I think they just wait out a bit more. Abat is about to have a butterfly up and running on the AM, and that's a really big power spike for him. You're not going to be seeing Skem rush the MKB. It looks like he wants the Abyssal first. Just want to be able to get control for his team, which this lineup has been lacking, and really start to find the pickoffs for the team. There's a transitory period here for Neon. Signal, they're just about to hit a major spike, and once that butterfly's up, Abat's just going to be a major issue for a long while until you get that consistent damage on Skem.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have the reconnection there onto Eris.
Are you even trying? Magic is an abomination.
He does also reconnect now. I do agree that Butterfly is going to be a big issue there once the bat does have it up. We may, yeah, we already see Skem queuing up the MKB for it. The thing is, whether a bat's actually going to join the team fights or not is a different story entirely. So when you are behind as an AM, your job is really just to keep forcing them back by forcing in waves.
Meepo! Meepo! Meepo!
But we'll see.
Yeah, I think one thing we haven't really seen from Neon as well are big fights centered around the eggs from John Yuel. Like, they haven't actually used it much, and you're gonna need it on the bigger fights. It's just that issue of spacing is there for John Yuel. You're always worried about QoP and the AM just jumping in and ruining that, so it has led to more conservative fights from Neon. But John Yuel hasn't died yet, so he's at least doing his job in that sense. I want to see Neon start to take advantage of that egg. It is pretty darn good AoE and pretty darn good control if you force them to kind of just fight under it. So it's something Neon has to start maximizing soon.
So we do have another pause. Scam's having a few issues here. That is still not at the place you wanna be for this AM.
Yeah,
You need a
not
lot
quite
more.
yet.
Like, it's just not a good feeling to see the AM, you know, who should be the fastest farmer in the game right now, behind Scam on the PL.
Yeah, it's not the best timing. So there is a smoke from Neon, but that was under a ward. That was spotted out.
We are gonna have Rage Potato there up at that top lane to kind of defend and just make sure a bat can't take that C3 tower. Meanwhile, the rest of Neon will start forcing the climb from the mid lane and move ready. Now, Sunray is trying to use, but they don't need it. And just with the Sunray alone blows up, and now Eris is gonna be in use. Scam's still chasing him down, and he just don't have these tier 4 towers. Now a battle will be dead. He does the void, but he's taking a little luck. Doesn't have any match left. So lose the Aegis, but back it's gonna see you later. Now the beam, but there's nobody there to heal on this void through. Just the tower.
Magic is an abomination.
Scary kills him off with the soul. Go. I don't think you're gonna have enough though. You're gonna have to climb up there onto the AM. Just move the blade out. Nightmares can still up, but we'll go back in. Scam just doesn't care about the tier 4 towers at all. Eventually he'll go back to the objective. They must realize now, oh, he doesn't have either. Well, then he just takes the two right.
Yeah, it's quick. Great potato. Where are you? Oh no.
Just respawn. Van to go to get to the stuff. He's just burning him. He does get a nightmare to help him down, but he's the Sonic Wave does connect on Januel, but that's pretty good. Now Van still being chased down. Do have to steal that Sonic stop and play hard. That mid-rank is certainly just dead. That'll be you. Neon's gonna be a reset. Back off now. Just break plays up. All the side of Neon eSports.
Again, it's that point where it just can't quite fully handle PL like it did initially, but that was Scam just diving way deep. When you're burned out of mana, there's just no escape, and Scam with the Basher is just doing so much work. That added control was all Neon really needed, and it's just one part away from the Abyssal.
Trying to go after his protocol. Now, first hit Scam, not able to drain all the mana.
Radiant's current has been
Very close call, but he does get after Rubik before he does go down.
Yeah, it's be lucky that happens, and give a bit more time for Signal. Not too big of a lead on Neon, too big advantage, but the work is the AM. You mentioned it, but AM, it's just a flash farming hero. You want to have a net worth advantage, and you don't. A bot playing from behind really needs that butterfly up and running to maybe have more durability here, but whether or not that ability is going to be enough, different question. You got the Abyssal on Scam. he can really just start fights on his own terms now.
Well, that he can. Or he will. I mean, he already has been starting to fight on his own. He just runs in under the tier 4 towers. Look up. On to the high jungle it is. Luckily for CIGNAL Ultra, they are already backing off, but Neon eSports are not. They're still going to fight as hard enough, but still bad. Abraham is going to lock him in. It's ignoring him. He wants something else. They're probably go back. No, they don't need him. Oh, he's dead. Boys, hit him. That's all he can do. Now it's pulls. Okay.
I love this. They know to do this.
Go back, so he's trying to flip with the top right now. This is not the time for face brace.
Oh no.
Catching out the AM straight up, and he's in trouble with that. Blue man for it on. He's going to be there. Sonic takes his run. On that next week, he's being covered. And now Sonic breaks the top on the top of play hard. And they are wiping them out. Banner Boy pulls them off play hard. The buyback's flying up. It won't matter. They're going to kill off that as well. This game is over. He's not there. The AM. Jump in and back, gonna try. Easy as well. Coming on. That again. James comes on about. And now the AM being cashed up. Almost out of mana. But he's been lifted by Payhard, who did buy back into the team fight. And we are actually gonna pause. I mean, it is disconnecting in all fairness. I'm not sure if the pause is necessary at that point, John. There's only one hero left on CIGNAL, the Ancient. You can...
Nah, yeah.
Okay, they don't waste time. They're just like, alright, JP.
Yeah, that's quite the thing. For John, it perfectly well. Scams comes online. It's the AMPL situation. It's what you're looking for. CIGNAL, you can get the space out, we couldn't build up. And Neon, they look pretty fantastic in good games. Do pick